What if everything you have been told about financial freedom is incomplete, and following that advice is the exact reason most people never achieve it? Think about it for a moment. People are told to work hard, get a stable job, save as much as possible, and eventually, after decades of discipline, they will reach financial freedom. It sounds logical. It sounds responsible. It even sounds safe. But here is the problem. Safe does not always mean successful, and in this case, safe thinking is what keeps most people stuck. Financial freedom is one of the most misunderstood ideas in personal finance. When people hear the term, they imagine having a lot of money in the bank, or maybe owning a house, or finally being able to quit their job and relax. But this definition is incomplete, because financial freedom is not about having money. It is about having control. Control over your time, your decisions, and your income sources. Now here is where things get interesting. Most people are working toward financial freedom, using a system that was never designed to create it in the first place. They exchange time for money, save a portion of that money, and hope that someday their savings will be enough. But this creates a long and fragile path. One unexpected expense, one job loss, or one financial mistake can set them back years. Meanwhile, there are people who seem to reach financial freedom much faster. They are not necessarily working harder, and in many cases, they are not even earning the highest salaries. So what are they doing differently? Are they just lucky? Do they have special connections? Or is there a deeper system at play that most people simply do not understand? The truth is, financial freedom is not a destination that you arrive at after saving enough money. It is a system that you build over time. It is created through ownership, leverage, and strategic decision-making. The people who achieve it do not rely on a single source of income. They build multiple streams. They do not just save money. They invest it. They do not just work for money. They make money work for them. In this video, we are going to break down the real truth about financial freedom. Not the surface-level advice you hear everywhere, but the deeper system that actually leads to independence. Once you understand this, you will start seeing money, work, and time in a completely different way. And that shift in thinking is the first real step toward building true financial freedom. The biggest problem with financial freedom is not that people are lazy or unmotivated. In fact, most people work very hard. They wake up early, put in long hours, and try their best to manage their money responsibly. Yet, despite all this effort, they still feel stuck. The reason is simple. They are following a system that does not lead to financial freedom in the first place. From a young age, people are taught a very specific formula for success. Go to school, get a good job, earn a steady income, save money, and retire after many years of hard work. This formula sounds safe and reliable, but it creates a hidden trap. It trains people to rely entirely on active income. That means their money depends on their time and effort. If they stop working, their income stops immediately. This creates a fragile financial structure. One illness, one job loss, or one economic downturn can disrupt everything. Because there is no backup system, no passive income, and no financial cushion strong enough to support long-term independence. Another major issue is the focus on saving as the primary path to freedom. People are told to save aggressively, cut expenses, and build a large savings account. While saving is important, it is not enough on its own. Why? Because money sitting idle does not grow fast enough to outpace inflation or create meaningful wealth. Over time, the value of that saved money slowly decreases, even if the number in the account looks stable. There is also a mindset problem. Many people believe financial freedom is something that happens far in the future. They think, once I save enough, then I will invest. Once I earn more, then I will start building assets. This creates a habit of delay. Important financial decisions are pushed into the future. And over time, those delays turn into missed opportunities at the same time. People often increase their spending as their income grows. This is called lifestyle inflation. When income goes up, expenses go up as well. So even though they are earning more, they never actually move closer to financial freedom. They remain in the same cycle of earning and spending. The deeper issue is that most people are not taught how money actually works. They are not taught about assets, passive income, or leverage. They are only taught how to earn and save. But earning and saving alone cannot create independence. So the problem is not effort. The problem is direction. People are putting in energy, but they are pointing it toward a system that cannot lead them to true financial freedom. Until that system changes, the outcome will remain the same. To understand the truth about financial freedom, you need to shift how you define it. Most people think financial freedom means having a large amount of money saved up. But that is not the full picture. Real financial freedom happens when your money generates enough income to cover your expenses without you needing to actively work for them. Let's break this down in a simple and practical way. There are two types of income that you need to understand: active income and passive income. Active income is the money you earn by trading your time for money. This includes your job, freelancing, or any work where you are directly involved in producing income. If you stop working, your income stops. This is the model most people rely on throughout their entire lives. Passive income, on the other hand, is money generated from assets that you own. These assets work for you even when you are not actively involved. Examples include investments in stocks, rental properties, businesses, or digital assets that generate ongoing revenue. The key difference is that passive income continues whether you are working or not. Now, here is the important idea. Financial freedom is achieved when your passive income is greater than or equal to your monthly expenses. For example, if your monthly expenses are $1,500 and your passive income is also $1,500 or more, you are financially free. At that point, you are no longer dependent on your job for survival. Your assets are covering your lifestyle. This is a major shift in thinking. Instead of focusing only on saving money, you start focusing on building income-producing assets. Saving is important, but it is only the starting point. The real goal is to turn your savings into investments that grow over time. Another key concept is leverage. Leverage allows you to grow your income without increasing your effort at the same rate. There are different types of leverage. Financial leverage, which is using money to make more money. Time leverage, which involves using systems or tools to save time. And people leverage, which means using teams or employees to scale your efforts. Wealthy individuals understand this very well. They do not rely solely on their own time. They build systems that continue to produce results even when they are not directly involved. This allows them to grow their income faster than someone who is only working alone. The shift toward financial freedom is not about working harder. It is about working smarter. It is about making strategic decisions with your money and building assets that can support your life in the long run. Once you understand this system, you stop thinking like someone who is just trying to survive. Instead, you start thinking like someone who is building independence. And that shift changes everything. To truly understand how financial freedom works in practice, let's look at real-world examples of how wealth is built through ownership and assets instead of just working for a salary. Take the example of Warren Buffett. He is one of the most successful investors in history, but his approach to wealth is very different from what most people assume. Buffett did not build his fortune by earning a high salary. Instead, he focused on buying and holding shares in strong companies over long periods of time. These companies generate profits, and as they grow, the value of his investments increases. This means his wealth continues to grow even without him actively working every day. Buffett's strategy is based on ownership. He owns pieces of businesses that produce income and value over time. This is a key difference. He is not just earning money. He is building systems that generate money continuously. Now look at someone like Elon Musk. A large portion of his wealth is tied to his ownership in companies such as Tesla and SpaceX. These are not traditional income streams like a job salary. They are equity-based assets. As these companies grow and succeed, the value of his ownership increases significantly. His financial position is tied to the performance and growth of these assets. What is important to notice? here is that neither Buffett nor Musk rely solely on active income to create wealth. They focus on assets that can scale and grow over time. Their income is not limited by hours worked. Instead, it is driven by the performance of the systems they have built or invested in. Now compare this to the average person. Most people rely on a single job for their income. They work, get paid, spend money, and repeat this cycle every month. Even if their income increases, their expenses often increase as well. This keeps them in the same position financially. The difference lies in how money is used. Wealthy individuals use their money to create more income streams. They invest, build, and own assets that generate returns over time. They focus on long-term growth instead of short-term spending. This example shows that financial freedom is not about luck or chance. It is about strategy, ownership, and consistent decisions over time. When you look at how the wealthy build their wealth, the path to financial freedom becomes much clearer. The most important lesson about financial freedom is that it is not something you wait for. It is something you build step by step through the decisions you make every day. If you keep following the traditional path of only earning and saving, you will likely stay in the same cycle for years. But if you start thinking differently about money, you can begin changing your financial future much faster than you think. The first shift you need to make is moving from an employee mindset to an owner mindset. An employee focuses on earning income through effort and time. An owner focuses on building systems, assets, and investments that generate income over time. This shift is powerful because it changes your relationship with money. Instead of money being something you work for, it becomes something that works for you. Next, you need to understand the importance of building assets. Assets are things that put money into your pocket instead of taking money out. These can include investments, businesses, or anything that generates consistent income. The more assets you own, the more income streams you create. And the more income streams you have, the closer you get to financial independence. Another key lesson is to avoid lifestyle inflation. When your income increases, it is very tempting to increase your spending as well. But this is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck financially. Instead of spending more, use that extra income to build more assets. This will accelerate your path to financial freedom instead of slowing it down. Consistency is also critical. Financial freedom is not built in a few months. It is built over years of smart decisions. Even small investments, when made consistently over time, can grow into something significant. The key is to stay disciplined and focused on your long-term goals. You also need to think in terms of systems, not just effort. If you rely only on your own effort, your growth will always be limited. But if you build systems that can operate and grow without constant input, your potential becomes much larger. Call to ACTO and now that you understand the truth about financial freedom. The real question is this: what will you do with this knowledge? Because understanding financial freedom is only the first step. The real change happens when you start applying these ideas in your daily life. Financial freedom is not built overnight. It is built through consistent actions and smart decisions over time. Every step you take toward building assets brings you closer to a life where you are in control of your time and your future. If you want to, keep learning how money really works and discover strategies that can help you build long-term wealth. Make sure to subscribe to the Geeky Investor, because once you understand how the system works, you stop playing the game like everyone else, and you start building your own path to financial freedom.